Coming up on 7:38, Cindy Sullivan, Tony Cruz. Mitch Butler joining us. Mitch is an online safety expert. I appreciate your time, Mr. Butler. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about our children and online dating and or behavior. Especially, it can be intimidating for some of the kids. So what are some things you want parents to look out for with your kids or your teenager when it comes to online behavior?
Your parents that are listening, think about the next time that they see their child standing in a group of friends, and think about 1 out of 3 of those teenagers admits to viewing online porn. And then 1 out of 4 have actually been cyberbullied, yet 7 out of 10 of those kids in that group will also admit to hiding online behavior.
Now, what do you mean by hiding online behavior? You mean drug use or something?
No, as far as texting or posting or just basically doing things, whether it be privacy chats, etc., doing things that they know their parents may not know about. And so they'll do things to keep their parents from knowing what their online behavior is.
You know, Mitch, I think that this is an age-old problem. I mean, generally, kids will behave better when they know they're being watched. And that's
Absolutely.
something, you know, so it's unfortunate, though, that with all of the technology now, and particularly when there are situations where, for instance, a parent will allow an adolescent or a young child to have a computer in their own room where they've got privacy. Those are the sorts of things that it's difficult 24 hours a day to track that sort of stuff. How in the world can parents make sure that they're monitoring their kids so that they do make sure that they behave and they're not doing these things?
That's one of the things that our company has done, is develop an application for parents to be able to monitor their child's Facebook activity. And it's a free service, a free app that a parent can go to EyeGuardian.com, E-Y-E, Guardian.com, and the I for the fact that we provide visual look into the images that are posted on Facebook, but we also do message watch and privacy watch and friend watch. And it starts with the parent having to know their child's password for their Facebook account, because the parent sets up the account at EyeGuardian.com and is then able to monitor their child's Facebook. But we provide them a text alert or an email alert of the summary of their kid's activity, and we red box or red letter the areas of the posts or the images that could be suspect. And it puts the parents in a position to have a dialogue with their kid to help them understand, if this picture or post is put up there, what happens when you go to talk to that college admission counselor or get your first job? If this type of thing is out there, and it really creates the environment for the parent to have a conversation with their child about what's their activity on Facebook and online and on their phones.
Mitch, that is very clever. EYE Guardian, EyeGuardian.
Yeah, buddy. I like it.
Very clever.
Thank you.
Mitch, let's talk a little bit about you brought up Facebook. MySpace is allegedly making a comeback. We've got Google+. One of the things I think you could look for, maybe as a parent too, is anxiety in your child. If they get offline and they're in bad moods, brooding, that kind of thing. How do you go about that? I know you're not necessarily a psychologist or child psychologist here, but what are some things you look for in your child when they've been on the internet?
Are they a little bit more removed from you when they come into the house, or they go through the kitchen and on their way to the bedroom, or do they stop and engage in a normal in their normal activity, right? Or are they a little bit different? And that's when I was a kid, I came in, if I went to my bedroom, shut the door, my parents knew something happened at school, so they came in and talked to me. Whereas the same thing today, my teenage girls, when I notice their behavior or their body posture is different, it gives me cause to inquire about what's going on, but then also to go look at their Facebook and see, is there messaging that's in context more alarming than just a post by itself. So it's not just one picture or one post, but within context of communication. And, that with the EyeGuardian.com site, I use that for my girls, and it has alerted me to times to be able to go and ask about this or that, and even to a point where I will see something and then text my daughter and say, you might want to consider what this could mean, and I've had them take pictures down or posts down after I've seen something and explain to them what I interpret it as.
one of the things too I know is happening all the time, cheating. Whether somebody's had a test on a Thursday and then the next group gets the test, in college on Monday. And obviously, when it comes to papers, that kind of thing, is there any way to, other than your own integrity and teaching your kids to have integrity, to stop this kind of stuff from happening?
Absolutely. Working with the education system and schools and campuses in particular, there's companies that provide different types of programs that can look for text or certain formats. And that's not necessarily in our wheelhouse of what we do, because we're more focused on the social media communication space. But within school districts, there's tools that schools could put in place. It comes back to funding in that regard. But back to your commentary, it's parents teaching their kids and the integrity. That's where it starts. It's the parent-child communication.
Well, Mitch, I think you're absolutely right in a number of these things. And, of course, it's very important to make sure that you're communicating with your kids from the get-go.
EyeGuardian.com. Thank you, Mitch, for your time. It's 7:44 with 84 WHAS.